Yes, first, I would like to start with our Glodden company. So, Glodden Global is our mother company. Glodden company has produced this Cubico software. As you can see, um, Glodden company work with 1,600 colleges and universities all over the world. And we have 60 branches and 7,000 employees work under our Glodden company. And our customer base has spread all over the world, more than 100 countries. And most importantly, we have 5 research and development centers. This is very important. In these research and development centers, we regularly do some researches regarding general quantity surveying practice and how to make improvements for our general quantity surveying practice through this 5D BIM technology. And these are some extensive cooperation work with us. As you can see, PAQS, RICS, Autodex, and many more popular names there. Then these are the leading consultants using this Cubicos software. So I have told you to create LinkedIn profiles and do some promotions of your skills. So I think many of you have created LinkedIn profiles, and I went through them. And if you see these leading consultants, so you can make connections with the employees working these companies. Then you can have industrial exposure with related to this 5D BIM software, and it will be important to build a career in this 5D BIM software. So as you can see, RKDs, AECOM, WT Partnership, Curry and Brown, and Leeds, and many more leading consultants all over the world using this 5D BIM software. So we have a world's largest 5D BIM community. So you can be a part of that world largest 5D BIM community, and you can learn a lot from the employees of these companies. So these are the leading contractors using our 5D BIM software. As you can see, ICC and Shims or Bayashi, Samsung Construction and Technology. The Samsung Construction and Technology is the main contractor for construction of Burj Khalifa building. So they are doing a lot of construction in Dubai, Qatar, and all over the world. So you can, if you can make some connections with the employees of these companies, it will be great. And these are the leading developers. So as you can see, SD Subhana and Prong, EcoWorld, Seita, Skyworld, SunTrust, and many more companies using our Cubicos software. So please make a note of these companies. Then when you use LinkedIn, you can find some connections with these companies. Then you can build your career. And most importantly, these are some projects has been finished by using this Cubicos software. As you can see, these projects are really complex and very large projects. So the increasement of efficiency is remarkable. So as you can see, the first project, the efficiency is 66.7. For the second project, the efficiency is 72.7. And the third project, 72.5. And if you see the fourth project, the design of this project is very complex. And I think now you know, with your experience with our 5D BIM software, these projects can be modeled really easy with this Cubico software, and you can extract the quantities within few seconds. So now you know the efficiency of this software, and now you can be a part to change the mode of our quantity surveying profession with this knowledge. And I explained this to you at the beginning, and now when I explain now, you have very good idea regarding the general functionality of our Cubicost software. So as you can see, now you know we can import any kind of drawings to our TA software, TRB software, as well as TME software. So after you directly import those drawings, you can use this auto identification functions and other functions to construct your model. Then after that, you can allow our TBQ software to cost for you. Then you know, for the measurement is four times faster. For the check-in is 10 times faster. Accuracy is 98.8 comparing to the Excel. And these are some benefits of our software and functions: intelligent finishes, intelligent calculation, auto report generation, revised check model. I taught you how to revisely check the model with the quantity, so it was amazing. Then 3D deduction display in auto calculation. I show you about the 3D deduction display. Then new user interface and import IFC and Revit drawing. So if you have the IFC and Revit drawing, you can directly import the model to the Cubicost software and calculate all the quantities itself within few seconds. So this is the working days comparison. So our company has done some research with our previous projects, and if you use manual method, it will take 49 days to complete a particular project. So if you use Cubicost software for the same project, you can finish the project within 12.5 days. So it is very efficient comparing to the traditional method. So again, this is a little comparison. So if you take the time, it will 10 times faster than Excel. And if you take the accuracy, it is 98.8 comparing to the Excel. So these are some indirect benefits. I think you all know now. So if you have the software, it will increase the reputation of your company. And as an individual also, if you know the software, I think now you already know, because I heard that our students are receiving messages via LinkedIn, even from Dubai, from the port city project. I saw some quantity surveys commenting in your post. So it is really happy to see. So if you have the knowledge, if others know you have the capability of doing quantification by using 5D BIM software, it will increase your reputation. So it will increase for tendency to having obtained jobs. So increase your quantity surveys profits and each tender if BIM is mandate criteria. So in Dubai, to obtain government projects, the BIM has been become a mandatory requirement. So if you have the BIM knowledge, so and you can contribute for those companies as well. So make the team happy and higher feeling of achievement. So if you are a quantity surveyors who are used to quantify using the traditional method, you know how efficient is this software. So you can quickly finish your job by using this software, then it will make you happy. So and the other main factor is all the quantities will be very accurate. So it will increase your self-satisfaction as well. And you can visualize the model with your quantity report. So it will be a great advantage for you. And there is project data management and analysis in BIM modeling. So Majith taught you about the Cubicost cloud, and there are many other functions that emphasize that the importance of this software and efficient post-contract management. So we have segmentation and revision function for false contract management. So you can easily extract quantities for subcontractor valuation and interim payment valuation by using the segmentation function. And we have revision function for execute variation orders, and also the post contract activities you can do easily by using this Cubico software. So a smooth communication with upstream and downstream is another advantage. So if you have the BIM model, you can share that BIM model with your upper management and lower level management. Then they will have a very good understanding about the quantities as well as the design of the project. So it will be a really good advantage you to maintain the smooth communication with within the stakeholders as well. Then easy to communicate with the world largest BIM QS customer base. I have explained to you earlier to be your professional internal collaboration and management platform. So you can use this software for increase the collaboration of stakeholders as well. So these are some case studies. This is from Malaysia. As you can see, the efficiency is 150 comparing to the traditional method. This is another large project. So you can see, generally we measure this project using zoning. So there are few towers in this particular project. So we can use zoning function for zone those towers and quantify separately. So this is another large project. As you can see, ground floor area is 295,000. So it is very large projects. Efficiency is 200%. So there are many more examples to emphasize the efficiency of this software. So this is some extensive cooperation. I have showed you some extensive cooperations earlier, but this is some universities we work collaboratively. As you can see, lot of universities all over the world, and Sri Lanka also we have worked closely with University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka Institute of Technology, SLIT, then Kothala Defense University, CSCT, and other universities as well. We have some discussions with them. Now we are going to start teaching in those universities as well. So recently, Gordon obtained the RICS recognition as well. So after you obtain our certificate, you will have a local and global recognition to work as a 5D BIM quantity surveyor. So this is my presentation. So now it is time to ask questions. So you can turn on your mic and ask us directly, or you can use the chat box. Then we will see the chat box. Then we will answer your questions. So if you have any questions related to the technicality, you can ask me for industrial and the BIM implementation. If you have questions regarding BIM implementation and the industrial behavior regarding to BIM, you can ask from Chartered QS Upul Shantha sir and Chartered QS Majith Kodithuwakku sir. So please go on and ask your question. So I hope everyone will get the fullest advantage from this question and answer session. So thank you very much for listening to my brief presentation. Now you can go ahead and ask your questions. So thank you very much again.
Don't be shy because I think 10 weeks, Thilina was your mentor, and myself always try to help anybody who is studying and studying. So don't hesitate to ask questions. Toastmaster workshop, and we are the one of the lecturers, not presenters, were giving a small talk. There he tells the Indian generally this is not to insult anybody. One of the Indian gentlemen was always asking questions, whether it is right or wrong. Know it at the tea time. Why you are asking questions? Then he said, the Indian guy told my lecturer, presenter, sir, there are two things. One is when I ask, all the others in the audience know who I am. And it is improving my chance of getting a new job. That's why I am asking always asking the questions. So I feel that is the way, positive way of looking at it. So when you ask questions, that the audience will remember you, and especially the bosses will remember you, and you will get a chance of getting into a new job. So I saw a few things are coming in the chat box. We'll start then.
Yes, sir.
You think they can just, if necessary, they can ask in Sinhala also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, please don't use that language as a barrier. So if you have any question, you can ask in Sinhala as well. So it is important to ask questions. So language is not a barrier. You can ask from any language. So please ask questions because this will be very important to you. So yes, one question. We have one question. So how to use this 5D BIM software for procurement purposes? Yes, for the procurement, we have TBQ software. So by using TBQ software, you can create the bill of quantities with the auto identification function. You can extract all the descriptions and even the quantities from another BOQ. Then you can price it by using a TBQ software. So you can maintain a price library in a TBQ software. So you will have the labor prices, material prices and equipment prices inside the software. Then it will you can use those prices to create the unit price. So after that, you can link the unit price with the quantities. Then you can finalize the amounts. So likewise, you can create the BOQ. Then after that, you can use this e-tendering platform of Glodden to do the tendering part. So likewise, this software will be useful for the procurement process as well. So, sir, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, yeah. Can I add a few things? At the moment, there is a small little bit of raining. Therefore, if you might see a little bit of disturbance. But what I am trying to, I will close to the mic. What I am thinking is what Thilina said is correct. From their extension, initially in Sri Lanka, when you get the quantities, that will be, then you can use those quantities for your procurement. Also, in a contracting organization, when this design and build project, or sometimes we give the BOQ, but your BOQ for the other procurement works of subcontracting and material purchasing, and those things will be different. Because of the accuracy, if you build the QS model exactly according to the design drawings, then your quantities, when somebody asking you a lump sum price, then you can directly see what is the difference between the BOQ quantity and your quantity. And then it will be helpful for your general procurement, because giving a lump sum price. Because otherwise what will generally happen is the contracting estimator, what he will do is he will put at least 5% for material fluctuations. But the person who is having the BIM model can exactly know what is the fluctuation, what is the cost for errors in the BOQ. So he will have a better chance of winning the tender or avoiding the loss. The secondly, as Thilina said, when we go further, once you have the TBQ and it's on the platform. The company you have, what will happen is the company will have a database. Your company will have a database. In that database, what will happen is, in that database, you will have a material prices all alone, and also you will have the norms, like for a cubic meter of concrete, what is the cement, how much cement, that is 20 grade 20, 18 bags of cement, 0.9 sand, 0.95, like that you will have all the data. Once the quantities goes in, what will happen is it's automatically, the first project you might not be able to do it, but then from the, once you prepare your database, as soon as you put it on the all the quantities from the model, directly that will be divided into the material database and the labor and the maybe subcontracting and all the labors. So out of that, then you can directly, at the moment, if you are the only one having the BIM software, what will happen is you will take that quantities and directly tender. One day, what will happen is your subcontractors also will be having the procurement. Then you can use the e-tendering. There will be few stages. At the moment, what we can do, maybe next, when your company have the package, what you can do, then maybe in the Sri Lankan community have a package, then what we can do, there can be. But what the main important thing is, you start now. You have already started. So that's the main thing. Now we, as a community of BIM community, we should spread this word and we should move forward where our Sri Lankan construction industry efficiency can be improved. So that's what we all have to do. I think I answered some of the extensions. Let's go to the, if it is okay, then let's go to the other one.
Yes, thank you very much for your great insights, sir. So another person asked, sir, we can use this design and build for design and build contract. I mean, if we have the design, the drawing also in the contractor side. So another person asks about whether we can use this software in design and build contractor. So it is really possible to use this software in design and build. So if you have the design, I think mostly our architects provide you the 2D CAD drawings as the design. Then you can construct the 5 BIM model using that 2D AutoCAD drawing. Then after that, you can extract all the quantities. Then it will be very easy to estimate after the modeling. So it is very useful for design and build contractor to having our cubic cost software. So, sir, if you have anything to add.
Is Majith around?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I add something?
Yes,
Shall I add
sir.
something?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, sure.
Basically, we are mainly a design and build contractor. More than the 50% of our work, we are doing it as a design and build contractor. Generally, what happened was the design. It will take time. They will take 2 or 3 weeks to read the document, and architect will start from there, and he needs several clarification. Most probably you will receive the drawings maybe 2 weeks or 1 week prior to the submission date. At that time, you don't have to prepare proper calculation. So what you can do is, what with the queue, because what we are generally does is, we do have some kind of sketches from the architect as well as the structural engineers. Based on that, and with our assumption, we will develop the model. Maybe before 2 weeks time prior to the submission, we will start the model, and we do have a calculation, and we can take a quotation from the subcontractors and all. When the last moment we had the correct information from the structural engineers and architect, we will adjust the model. Otherwise, we need to wait if we don't have a queue, because we do have to wait until all the drawings are received, because we don't have a sections, we don't have a elevation to finalize our calculation. Now, what we do is, we can do our assumption. So we can, at least if they are not giving sizes for the pad footing, we can assume our pad footing size and we can proceed with the model. So we don't need to wait until we receive everything. So with the assumption, we can develop the model and have a quantity, get a quotation from the subcontractors. And once we receive the final design, the details sufficient to finalize our model, we will do the changes and we'll finalize the model. I think with that, we can have a good advantage with the time. That was the main thing what we are generally doing when we are doing the design and build project. So otherwise, we have to wait until all the drawings are received from the design division. And sometimes when we are developing, sometimes we also do go with the Revit, but to finalize the Revit model, it will take a time. But before that, we will complete our BIM model and share with the architect and see what are the issues they had. So we can share our model with the architect, and we can identify the issues they have prior to before they finish their Revit model. So those are the advantage we are getting with the Cubicos during the design stage.
Yes, sir. So thank you very much for your insights, sir. So we have another question. How to prepare IPA with the help of the software? So I think in Majith sir's session, in our previous session, Majith sir explained about how we can prepare, how we can extract quantities for the preparation of IPA from this Cubicos software. So we have the function called segmentation function. There we can divide our building into some areas. Then we can extract the quantities within that area. So I think that is the general. It has been disconnected. So that is the major benefit of having segmentation function. So I think Majith sir can explain further. Yes, sir.
Again, it's dependent on your organization practice. Right now, we are not using to prepare interim payment application, but we do use for the quantification. So with the segmentation function, we can easily extract quantity based on your IPA requirement as well as subcontractor requirement. As I told you, even one asked earlier about the procurement. With the Cubicos, you can easily do calculation based on the one of the main example to calculate floor tile for different design. If it is a normal sense, we do calculate all 600 by 600 tile in the one item. We might measure it one item, but in a different location, we do have a different design. For the 3-bedroom apartment, sometimes they might use different design. As well as if you take a painting, we will measure it as external painting as a one item, but in a different location, you do have a different colors. to calculate the colors for your procurement purposes, we can use segmentation function. Otherwise, if you are doing it manually, you have to calculate it again or separate it to your previous calculation. Those are the advantage we do have. But for the interim payment application, we can, because you already done a model maybe at the tendering stage or maybe at the design stage, you do have a completed your model. So you don't need to do calculation again. You just have to update the model as per the construction issue drawings. That's all you have to do. And just extract the quantities as it, or if it is updated as per the construction issue drawing, you just need to extract the data. You don't have to do calculation again, which, as I told you, it's about 70 to 60% of time of the post-contract quantity surveyor will take for the quantification. They have to do calculate for several purposes, for the subcontractor billing, interim payment application, for the if it is a BOI project, you have to provide quantities for the BOI. So you do have to calculate quantities in a different purposes. But with the cubic cost, what you can do, this is with the segmentation function and all, you can use the same model, data within the same model, and just extract the quantities. So you will able to save the lot of time if with the cubic cost.
Yes,
I think Thilina, you have thought about how to utilize it for the IPA, the reporting and all. So
yes.
do you have with the quantities, with the reports, you can easily share it. I think, and if your consultants also using cubic cost, it's a matter of the certification process is a matter of seconds, I suppose. So I think we might do one project. We are hoping to start one project with a consultant who will use the cubic cost. We will see how it works. So we will do but our part in cubic cost. So we hope that the consultants also will use cubic cost. We are very optimistic to see what will happen. So right now only we have used, but the next project we hope we can use along with the consultant, and hope it will be a matter of seconds for the consultant quantity surveys to check the interim payment application what we submitted.
Yes, sir. It's very great insights you have shared with our students. And another student asking, so we can detect any clashes using by this software. I mean the columns and beams clashing, any drawings errors. So for the clash detections, we generally use Navisworks software, which is Autodesk BIM software. But the software, if you model the software by using Cubico software for walls and beams, automatically they reduce the columns from walls. So we can do that, but originally for the clash detection, we can't use this software. So this 5D BIM software is especially for the quantity surveying purpose. So another student asks, so which construction companies already use this Cubicost 5D BIM software in Sri Lanka? So International Construction Consortium has been using this software since 2019, and Sunken Overseas also has been using our software since very long. Then currently ARQS consultancies, CMS, and many other companies using our software. And China State and China Harbor, those Chinese companies has been using our software since long, because our software introduced to this construction industry back in 2010, and a lot of companies using this software. So another question we have.
One thing is, Thilina, this software most of the Chinese companies large employee to do the cubicles. So they are using their own stuff. Sometimes what they do is they send the drawings and other things to their country, and in their departments use, they have enough quantity surveyors knows the subject, skills on this one. So once we have Sri Lankan quantity surveyors equipped with these skills, then they will try to get Sri Lankan quantity surveyors to do the projects, especially the port city. The guideline itself approved by the UDA and the government itself says the port city project should be 6-dimensional BIM enabled projects. So therefore, most of the port city projects will have a BIM based drawings. At the moment, in case of projects, even in the airport project East, there is a clause saying all the documents should be 6D BIM enabled project. So most probably the government will ask contractor to use that facility. And then what happened is all the subcontractors who are doing it also had to use BIM. In case of ITC, is a BIM-based project. So therefore, larger projects, it is easy to use BIM. Then when they are using BIM softwares, then Cubicos will be there definitely as a other software which can read the IFC drawings and all those things. That's why that's how the industry evolving at the moment. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. So another student asked how to obtain a job as a fresher with relevant to the 5D BIM. So already, I have heard from my students. Now he is working as an external consultant for a Port City project with regard to BIM. So he worked with me to provide scope for a construction project for this BIM technology, and he added some clauses with relevant to 5D BIM as well. So there will be a lot of opportunities. Upul sir explained you earlier about the situation of these Chinese companies and the ICT project, ITC project and all. So as a freshers, you can obtain a lot of jobs, especially in the future with the initiation of this Port City project. So, sir, if you have anything.
One again is basically I'm 5D BIM specialist, because it is a cost model we are doing. 5D BIM is a cost model. So therefore you had to, as a freshers, what you should do is, this is a one skill you have developed, and you learn one skill and you develop it every day. Then, but you are a quantity surveyor at the moment. So what you can do is, as a quantity surveyor, you will be improving with this skill, where anybody will like to take you when the company is going to do the 5D BIM packages and BIM enable projects. What will happen is, later, if you want to move in, because you are now the first cream in Sri Lanka have started this one. So you develop every day with these packages and working with those, and along with the quantity surveying functions. Then what will happen is, one day if you really wants to become a BIM manager or BIM, then you have to study BIM, building information modeling, Revit drawings in Revit, building information modeling, all the using of other packages. So that skill you will be developing future, because that is the future. Therefore, as a fresher, what I want to tell you is, first you start quantity surveying, try to go to a quantity surveying firm where the BIM is there. They are practicing at least 5D BIM, and then move on to the other digital areas of construction. Every day, this will be a learning experience for every day. This will be a improving your skills every day. to become a very specialized BIM technician, BIM manager, BIM consultant. So my advice is, at the moment, move with the BIM quantity surveying and BIM, and try to find a job in a you will have a BIM experience.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your great insights, sir. So another person asked about the current practice of e-tendering in Sri Lanka. So recently I have a discussion with one of the quantity surveyors from Access Engineering. Due to this COVID situation, now they are tend to do tendering via platforms. So, but they only use Excel, and they put password to Excel and share the documents with the parties. But if you use this Cubicos software, if the industry adopts this Cubicos software, and if they use TBQ, so then we can increase the efficiency of the tendering procedure in our construction industry as well. So I think Majith may have to add something because
yeah, if you talk about e-tendering, again depend on if you are using Cubicos, you might use for your organization basically subcontractor tendering, because to have it normalized, all the other organizations should have a Cubicos software used. But generally, the government has intention. I think the platform already created for the e-tendering, but under EPROC, I think for those who work with the contractor organization must maybe know some of the documents they have started to apply online basis, especially PCA3 form. They have started some of the under government portal and EPROC, they are developing it, but unfortunately the has not yet materialized. If it is succeeded, that will make a reality. But Thilina?
I had a little technical issues. I will make you as the host. If,
yeah, I think that's what I need to. And other than generally for the Cubicos, we are mainly focusing for the quantity surveys, and for the designing and other purposes, we do have other softwares. But for the to get that 3D model and get maximum out of it, we can do with the Cubicos. That was the advantage. But we are not going to design with Cubicos. What we does is we'll we'll take the 3D model prepared by our designers, might be the structural engineers, they might do their own 3D softwares. Architect might use Revit or some other software. So we'll extract the data, might be based on the IFC. If you have a TIO software, you can extract the same Revit model. But general term, I think you might familiar with the IFC, which is the common language for the BIM. So your structural engineer might develop in a different software package. He might can export data with IFC model. Revit file also can export data as IFC model. You can include everything with your Cubicos software. So that's how it will work. You are not going to do the design, but you will extract the 3D data developed by other professionals, and we'll do our part as a quantity surveys with the Cubicos. So that's the general intended use of Cubicos.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your great insights, sir. So we have another question. So if you haven't AutoCAD drawing, how you can measure by using this cubic software. So if you don't have the AutoCAD drawing, even if you have the hard copies, you can easily make it as a scanned PDF. Then you can easily import into our cubic software. So after that, we can do the scaling in the software. Then we can use the manual method for construct the model on top of that. So if you have any type of drawing, you can utilize it and create a BIM model and extract the quantities really easily. Another ask about how we can use 5D BIM in value engineering. It is very good question, because currently also for a particular project, our consultants firm ARQS has been doing value engineering proposal by using this 5D BIM software. So I have the practical experience with that. So I know how can you utilize this software very efficiently for value engineering purpose. So first, we have to use that original tender drawing and create the model by using that drawing. Then after we finish the modeling, if there is any value engineering proposal, we can go through the proposal and do the adjustment really easily. So we have the revision function, so we can compare the previous and current drawings by using this revision function, and then we can easily do the adjustment to our model, then extract the revised quantities. So then we can use those quantities for the estimation as well. So we have the TBQ software. In TBQ software, we have all the unit prices. Then with the change quantities, we can estimate the revised model. So I think Majith also have very good knowledge regarding this importance of the value engineering and how to use this cubic software to do the value engineering. So Majith will share his insights with relevant to that.
Yeah, during the value engineering, the quantity surveys, we might need the main thing what quantity surveys does is evaluate alternative proposal. With the cubicos, what we can easily do is to extract the quantities for different proposals. That was the main advantage what I see doing value engineering with the cubicos. So you do have to evaluate 3, 4, 5 proposal and see what will be the effect of quantities. Do it manually, it will take time. But with the cubicos, you just might increase the size of the beam and automatically adjust the wall quantities and the paint quantities, plastering quantities. So those quantities you can extract and do the analysis with those quantities. But if you are going to do 5, 6 proposal by manually, to do all the calculations, it will take time. But with the cubicos, what you can do is you can easily extract the time and you can utilize your free time to analyze that data. So with that, you can have a good proposal. Evaluating, if you are doing it manually, you might evaluate only 1, 2 proposals. But with the cubicos, you can evaluate thousands of proposals. I think you might hear about the new concept called generative design. Generally, we are doing with the Revit, where it will evaluate millions of proposals automated. So with the ratio. So likewise with the cubicos, since the cubicos do quantity parts, you can evaluate 5, 6, 7 proposal. But if you are doing it manually, you can do only 1, 2, 3 proposal. Even if you are doing 5, 6 proposal, evaluating, you have a time to analyze the data and get a proper output. So that was the advantage what I see when you are doing the value engineering with the cubicos.
Yeah, thank you very much for your very good explanation regarding regarding that question. So another person asks about how to model building which has different levels, and how to revise checking of takeoff, and unit changing if you have it by preamble or practice. So if you have the different levels for some particular project, you can use the zoning. So you can do one part of your building zone 1, and the other part you can do in zone 2. So you can get different levels for those zoning. Then after that, revisely checking of takeoff. So you can go to quantity by expression, and you can after you going quantity by expression, you will have that 3D measure and show expression description. So by using those two functions, you can revisely check your model with the quantities. I think, yeah, I think I have answered your question. Majith sir, if you have anything to add.
I think you explained it, Thilina, so I don't
Okay.
miss anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how can we live enjoy? So the person asks, see tendering. So how can we find out a work opportunities in Sri Lanka as more companies using AutoCAD, not BIM software? So now we are working hard on that. We have some discussion with the leading companies in Sri Lanka. International Construction Consortium already using our software. So last week we had some meetings with Access Engineering, and we also had some meetings with Tudawe Brothers, Sunken, and all the leading consultancy firms in Sri Lanka. So hopefully after this COVID situation, most of the companies will adapt to our 5D BIM software. So yes, I think
Shall I add something?
Yes.
Actually, the main issue the organization are looking at, they think that that involve considerable cost, but when if you consider in the overall nowadays all the softwares are based on the subscription license where you need to pay annually, but any time you it. Of course, now with that, I think the software cost, if you are paid, I think you can convince purchase with one license because out, so might get 2-3 people simultaneously. At least you can take a one license. So with I think that will not have a high percentage. So you need to think software as a not as a capital cost. Now we will consider software as an overhead for the organization. So it will be a recurrent cost annually. It will not a capital cost. It kind of a overhead which you like your salary. If you compare with the total cost of your head office or your organization, if the amount you spent on the software, if you compare it, it is very marginal. So most probably, if you can convince your management, even you have a small organization, you can afford it. I think the way we think also the same way. We didn't purchase 5 license. I think right now we are having about 6 license, 6 license. So we didn't purchase 6 license at once. We did purchase 1 license, and when the work come, we will purchase the additional license. Even in the previous, what the software, what the practice we had, we rent software. So when we have a more work, we rent software for a few months. So once the completed, we didn't extend that license for the particular, thereafter we didn't extend. So likewise, there are options available now. So you can consider it in different way.
Yes, sir. It's very good insight,
One
sir.
more thing I had to explain is you don't have to have a BIM software used by architects for doing 5D BIM software cubicles, because all the other years when we discuss about BIM, it is basically architect is the one starting. Architect had to draw in 3D, and then only the structural engineers and the MEP engineers have to do in 3D, and then only quantity survey comes. So that's how it does. But for cubicles, you don't need architect to do in 3D or BIM software. You don't need structural engineer or the MEP engineer to do in 3D software. You can from those companies, 2D drawings from architect, 2D drawing from structural engineer, 2D drawings from MEP engineer, and using cubicles, you can make your model. So therefore, it is not necessary like those days, like 6-7 years back, we were thinking as quantity surveys, how can we do quantity BIM in quantity surveying when the architects and others are not doing quantity BIM. Now we find this cubicles software. That's why we really brought this software to Sri Lanka, because at least even though the architects and engineers are not doing with BIM, the quantity surveyors can start BIM from then 5D software, 6D software, and 7D softwares. At least we can do it. Maybe 4D also we can do it. That is cost, time, sustainability, and operational management. That part we can do even though the architects and the engineers are not doing BIM. So that's why I am always telling, it is not necessary for architects to start drawing in 3D. Quantity survey can start his model and move on. That's why don't expect near future the Sri Lankan architects or Sri Lankan engineers will do 3D modeling. We as quantity surveyors, we should be forefront and we will be doing it. So this is your first step when start doing it using the 2D AutoCAD drawing, so other PDF drawings, make your model and you start BIM. That's what we want.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
In addition to that one, I would like to add a little thing. Sometimes we had experience where we did our model based on their sketches, and we'll give them a IFC model, so they can start from our IFC model, their Revit model. So that sometimes we had experience, and also with the generally to model reinforcement in 3D with the available softwares, it's very difficult. If you take a steel pack in Autodesk, that will take, I mean, that's little difficult than the TRB. Sometimes we will do we will do it on TRB and send them IFC model. So that IFC model, they can put it to their softwares like SAP and other somewhat structural modeling tools. They can use our IFC model and they can start from there. So there are some advantage, some based on the way that you use, you even can provide some model to your designers to start their work.
Yes, sir. It's a really good insight, sir. Another student ask a question. Sir, our industrial training starts from next semester, most likely from end of this semester. Is there any chances we could have from companies where BIM has been adapted for the industrial training? So I think there are a lot of companies using 5D BIM in Sri Lanka currently. So Majith will answer for that question because ICC also using Cubicos software. So
I think
The way that you assign trainees to us and all. It's depend, but
Yes.
am I
Yeah, yeah,
audible?
yeah. Yeah, Majid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically depend on your institute who will assign you to the organization and all, but we can't intervene from that process. It's mainly depend on that process.
Yeah.
So I think not only ICC, there are several other organizations will do in a different. I mean, not even in the queue, because there are some other software also they are using, but just try to have one organization who will do some innovative things in the construction industry than the doing it in a normal way. So you will get some value addition in your training if you can join with those kind of organizations. Just have a try, but it's depend on your institute and all.
Yeah. So thank you very much for your
Thilina, can
yeah.
we, one thing is, that's a good thing we got to know. I didn't thought about that one. If we have maybe with some of the Chinese companies, we can ask, but we'll try. We'll, like Majid said, it is basically depend on
That
the
might be
private
possible.
companies.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
China state they are doing they are using Cubicos for as far as I know, they are using Cubicos for the airport project and some of the local project, mainly the China state and China harbor. They do have several project they are using Cubicos. So we'll do with the Chinese guys. We had one experience where we did one joint venture project with China state, but we separately measure the quantities with the two models. So when we share our models and check our quantities. So likewise, there are several Chinese organizations. We might can talk to them to recruit some of the quantity surveyors as a trainee.
Yeah, I'll see the list, get the list, and we'll try to convince somebody at least. We'll try, but I don't know whether we will succeed, but we'll try.
Yes.
Get the list.
Yes, I will take the list. So another question arises from our students. Can we use this 5D BIM software for dispute resolution purposes between architect and quantity surveyors in the pre-contract stage? I have a very good experience with that. So we had a project with recently. So they have been changing the architects have been changing their design frequently. So if we use the traditional method for the quantifications, it will take a little bit of time to finalize all the quantities for the design changes. But if you have the construct 5D BIM model, you just need to delete some items and click on that calculation button to extract all the quantities. So within few seconds, you can generate all the quantities for change design. I think Upul sir and Majid sir has a lot to add with regard to this, because we are having very dispute very heated disputed with the architects with regard to quantity adjustments with frequent quantity design changes.
Shall I add something? I think the best advantage we are getting with the Cubicos is the traceability. As Thilina said, if you are in a contract organization and if you are doing design and build project, when the project started, your site quantity surveys, every time they will ask whether you have measured this, whether you have included that one in the BOQ, whether the beam dimension is 600 by 300 you consider. So you will get a lot of questions. Other than the rates, you will get many inquiries related to the quantities, whether you had included that ceiling quantity, whether you had measured the tile for that particular area. So if you are using Cubicos, you just need to share the Cubicos model with the site quantity surveys. He doesn't need to ask anything, because the way you provided your hard copies or your measurement sheet, he will not able to trace it during the construction stage. So if you share the Cubicos model, you don't need to answer every time. So you just can ask him to refer the model and see what we measured and what we have not measured. So likewise, during the process, so if you have a proper model, you have done it at the design stage, if you do have any issue during the post-contract stage, you do have a proper traceability. You can go back to the model and see what you have included, what you have not included. So the traceability you can utilize to avoid the dispute, even if you are working with the consultant who will use the cubic cost or kind of a model. So you can have a good traceable document with the model where you can argue in your dispute and see those are the things where they are in the tender document or tender design or the original design. Those are the new things, and with the traceability you can handle your dispute very easily. That was the main advantage what I believe with the cubic cost.
Yes, thank you very much for that. I think Upul sir also has to add something.
Actually, the dispute resolution, the main thing is the data, the evidence and data. So that part, like like Majith said, the traceability is the main important thing, because you can see what you have taken for the contract. As a contract, what it's formed. Even it is formed from the drawings, BOQs, and all those things. From there, is there any change? And that change is whether it can form a dispute. For that part, definitely this cubicos will be able to understand and prove that what is originally in the contract and what is the now contract. If there is a variation, then that is a that can be resolved easily. So going further, most of the BIM contracts, BIM managed contracts, where you can do some of the modeling on programming also. When you do a programming, then as collapsible, as built as collapsible, those things also can be also traceable. Using 5D BIM Cubicos program, we are tracing the quantities and the rates and all those cost-related matters. So time-related matters, you might one day will learn about 4D BIM and the programming software, and where you can do the dispute resolution on those things also. But for Cubicos, like Majid said, traceability is the most important thing. We can always use these functions, Cubicos, for easy dispute resolution. Without going further, you can do the dispute resolution with those.
Yes, thank you very much for your great insights. So another question from our student. Can we use Cubicos software in construction with related to blockchain wallet? So I think the best person for answer that question is Chartered QS Majid sir. So one student asking about the applicability of this Cubicos software for the blockchain wallet. So
I mean, if you're using, if you are discussing about the blockchain, mainly you need to refer digital data. So if you are using the software which will generate digital data, you can incorporate with the very easily with the blockchain concepts. So if the platforms for the blockchains are there, right now, I don't think the Cubicos does not have any communication method with the blockchain platform. But in the future, or that will work, even though there may be like CSV file or some other methodology will be available to communicate with the blockchain platform, since you are already using the digital model. So you do have a digital data which can extract it from the model. So that might be easily incorporated with the blockchain platform with the different means of, like, you might extract the data to CSV or Excel or kind of a arrangement you might can communicate with the blockchain platform. So since you are if you are doing it in a manual way, you can't do it anyway. So since you have a digital data, that can be communicated with the blockchain platform.
Yes,
I don't know how it will work, but it can be done if the platform available. We need to see how those things to be incorporated, like what we doing it right now. So we are working with our ERP. What we do is we'll extract the data to Excel and convert to CSV. CSV file only we will update into the ERP. So likewise, there will be a way you can do it since you do have a digital data.
Yes, sir. I think, thank you very much for that, sir. So another student asking how to check if QBCost understand the 2D drawing only, especially in auto identification function, or 2D CAD drawing is not in a good standard. That means here same layer used for different elements mistakenly in CAD drawing. So it is very good question. So I think sometimes the standard of that AutoCAD drawing will affect to our auto identification function in QBCost software. Then if anything wrong, you can see you can identify it from the 3D model. Then you just need to go to our auto calculation function, and you can revisely check the quantity with the model. Then you can clearly identify what went wrong. So then you can easily use manual method for construct those building elements in QBCost software. So so in QBCost TAS and TRB, we have very broad area to create our models. So even if this auto identify method is not working for some particular drawings, you can easily create the model by using manual method as well. So I think Majith also will add something to that.
Generally, when we receive the drawings, what we'll see is whether we'll try to do it with the first time. We will try to do it. Let's say, especially you can do it with the simple element like pile cap or column. Then you can identify whether the drawing they have drafted in according to the standard or not. So with the small element you can identify, and then you have to decide whether you are going with the auto identification or you are doing it with the manually drafting the elements. So with that you have to decide and proceed with that. Otherwise, that will if you are not correctly decided at that point, you will have end up with sometimes you might end up with the issues. So like the first instance, you have to decide whether you have to what the method you need to follow. But with the small element, you can easily identify it, like
Yes,
column or pad foundation or pile caps.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Best thing is to with the small element, even manually you can manually normal method you check the quantity and you use that quantity again with the model also and see whether these are tallying. Because before going further, you should try to see whether this is what the manual method, basic manual quantities and the automated quantities, whether those are correct, then you can decide. So you have to decide according to the quality of the drawings, and sometimes PDF drawings are not that great. So even the scaling, you can first do the scaling and check whether it is correctly coming in using the maybe a column footing. You measure the quantity and see whether this correctly coming in. With the experience only this comes into your with the experience you will learn more on this one, because we are working with our current Sri Lankan drawings. Then sometimes it will take a little bit of manual methods also.
With experience, you know, if you receive the drawing from that organization, you can do auto identification. If you are receiving the drawings from another organization, you do have to do it manually. So with experience, you will know how it will work.
Yes, sir. So another question arises from our student. Once prepared the model by consultant, what would be the tender procedure? It means invitation to the bidder, sharing model, tender document submission, etc. In tendering. Yes, I think once we receive the drawings from our architects or the draftman, we can start the modeling. Then we can use the same model for the quantification for the BOQ for the tender. Yeah, we can use that model throughout our tender procedure. So I think Majith have a very good experience with that. He will share how we can utilize this Cubicos software for the tender procedures.
In the practical sense, if you are doing it a mission pay contract where you don't need all the quantities are remeasured, so you don't, being the contractor, you don't need to worry about the model, but you can review the model. If the consultant is sharing his model, you can review the model and identify errors and inform them there are things to be changed. So if it is a different project like a design and build project, sometimes you might hire a third party for the design. Sometimes you will going with the design firm where they prepare BOQ. So with that BOQ, they can provide the BIM Cubicos model. As a contractor, we can check and review that model. Or if it is any errors, we can inform them to change those things. Those are the things we can do it during the tendering stage. But when it comes to if the project were awarded to that particular contractor, so thereafter you can utilize the same model for the post-contract activities, because the consultants also consultant might be develop the model, contractor review during the tendering stage. When it comes to construction, they can utilize the same model for the post-contract quantification, as well as for the consultant, they can use the updated model by the contractor with the segmentation and all the zoning function. We can transfer it to the consultant to review it for the interim payment application. That's how it will work. So when it comes to the final stage, you will have during the final bill preparation stage, you will have a as-built model which were updated based on all the construction issued drawings. So the final quantity you can extract that from the model. So anyone who need to, I think nowadays it's very common to review final bill by the third party consultant. So you can easily refer to this model to the third party consultant and see, they also even they join in the last moment, they can easily review the model. So that was the advantage. If it is doing it manually, that third party consultant or the quantity surveyor might do it entirely process, so you do need to entire quantification from the beginning. But if the client requires, the consultant need to just, it's very transparent now, so you just can share the model and ask anyone to check it. So there should be no errors, because the contractor also refer model, consultant also they same the refer model. If the client wants to refer it to any other third party for review purpose, you will use the same model. So the quantities will be same in each and everything. So that's how it will work during the process. And even thereafter, you might share with the same digital model with the client. So if he needs to extract the quantities for the maintenance purpose, he can use it. Sometimes he might need to do the painting, repaint the entire building. So he can extract the quantities, but if he has some access, he can extract the quantities from the model and do the required material for the painting. Otherwise, he might need to use some other quantity service to do material calculation, or he might ask some paint guys to do the calculation and see. But if he has a as-built model during the maintenance phase, he can use some of the quantities required for the maintenance. So you can use the model in building life cycle, not only the tendering, not only the construction, not only the maintenance, entire life cycle you can utilize model if you do it properly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your great insights, sir. So another student asked about, so I am a third year undergraduate and I'm pretty sure after 1 year, we will forget the knowledge gathered from this course about cubicles. Therefore, I think we should practice sometimes, and also the problem is license only remained for 3 months, as I heard. So is there any way to practice within the meantime? So it is very good question. So we are planning to organize some BIM competitions in future for Sri Lankan quantity surveys. So in other industry, IT industry, electronic and electrical, they are organizing the universities and other cooperative companies organizing competitions for their students. So for the first time, we are going to uh, im- uh, introduce BIM competitions for local students. So prior to those competitions, we will provide 1 month license for you. Then you can practice and participate to those competitions. Then you can have hand-on experience, and you can keep your 5D BIM practice. So so in that way you can stay in touch with this 5D BIM software. Yes, I think yes.
One more thing is, at the moment, since the companies and the universities are not engaged with 5D BIM softwares is the issue. But in near future, for the other students, I think definitely they will have a better chance of practicing. And even we were planning with the Glodden main office some of the BIM competitions. If somebody wants to, we are really more lenient on some of the things. If somebody wants to learn, we will be supporting everybody, not as a blanket cover, but if somebody really wants to work with BIM, then we can lend something for him for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Those things, it is possible. Always keep contact with the CCIS because we want and get something out of it. That is possible always. So main thing is you as our first students engage in the digitalization, we will keep you engaged.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Just adding little thing to that, to that one, I think there will be, I think we did earlier, I think with the Cube, because we were not able to do it with the other previous software. What we just was, we'll outsource some of the works, because you don't need to be by yourself. You just need a license. So if we are not able to do it in our office, I mean, we do have some other works, and if our staff were not capable to allocate for some other design and build project, sometimes we just is we'll share the license with some external party. We outsource them and we'll ask them to do the model. And when he does the model, we can get it, and we don't need to ask question whether you have measured this or measure that, or those things we don't need to ask. Since we do have a model, we can do it. That process will available in the future. I think during last 2 years we didn't have much work, but with near future, if everything goes well with the policy and all, we do have a lot of projects. We do need to require most of the project. We do need to very fast, because 2 years, almost 2 years, we did nothing. So there will be a very fast track project we hope will come. So at that time, sometimes contract organization, they will lend a license to you. So you can complete your model and share with the contractor. because earlier we did it manually, but it's very difficult. So the quantity surveyor need to ask whether you measure this, whether you measure that, what is the beam you consider. But if you share the model, the contractor you don't need, or the consultant, they don't need to ask. So you can do it if when they share the license with you, you can do it your home and finish the work and share the completed model with the consultant or the contractor. That practice can be in the future. I hope it will work. We did earlier with some other softwares. I think with the Cubicos also we can do it. So you might outsource by another organization who is having the license.
Yes,
Yeah, actually, we also thinking of having our database and getting the skills of our students, like the first batch and second batch, those students into giving the skills and having the database, and having a close contact with the companies. And if they outsource to us, then we will directly give to our students. And then they can finish it off, and we will have some kind of exchange, like database of students. And then if ICC wants to get some services done, then that can come to CCIS, and CCIS will give to our students, because they are the ones knows the subject. So we will give to them, then we will coordinate that. So that kind of process we were thinking of having, maybe first few batches, maybe in future also. Even if we can get jobs from other countries, then we can give to our Sri Lankan quantity surveyors who has the skills to do models. So that's what finally we thought of when we started this project course. Our main idea was to go globally, get the jobs and give to Sri Lankans. So we'll go with that also.
yeah.
I think we earlier discussed also with Mr. Upul Shantha. I think sometimes the quantity survey might require the license only for a month or two. So instead of purchasing an annual license, might be CCIS purchase the license for a year. You can let it to some other quantity surveyor for 1 month for the small premium. Might be the 112 of, or the reasonable premium, which is only for the 1 month or 2 months required for that particular quantity surveyor to complete that project. Thereafter, he may not need that license. But he is having work, he can lend the license from CCIS or some other party. So that process also we did with some other software earlier with the Keep, because also that we can very easily do it. So that process you can easily, with a small cost, you can get the license for your particular work to complete, and once it finish, you can forget about the license.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir. It is very good insight. And another question asked for, coming from the students, can we use BIM in demolition as well? So yeah, we can use this 5D BIM software to quantify the demolition as well. We can easily get the current drawing and change drawing, and we can use the revision functions and identify the items have been demolished. Then we can quantify those items, and we can have the change quantities. And then another student asked, does it need to have a special clause in condition of contract in order to implement such a software in particular project? It is very good question. I think Upul sir will answer to that question.
Yeah, I think in Sri Lanka, not a special conditions, but I think if you can have a preamble notes, preamble or in the bill of quantities, you can have in preliminaries, you can state that BIM software can be used. So even as I saw in the airport project, it was in the specification. Preliminary section, specification, general items and preliminaries, there was a section called BIM enabling project. So mostly the pricing can be in the preliminary section, where the project, we can say project contractor should have the Cubicos 5D BIM software. And if the consultant is using this one, if the contractor also has this one, then throughout the post-contract up to the final account, as Majid said, we can use in the preliminaries. Special conditions, in case of a special conditions, it is for BIM, of course, it is coming. Special conditions and measurements and those rules are coming in big way in European countries and in US, but not in this part of the world at the moment. Majid, anything to add?
Yeah, actually, not only airport project, there are several ADB funded projects where they specified in specification. For I don't know the what they specify in the specification to use BIM. I think one of the project I can remember, the Maritime Facilitation Center at Colombo Port, as well as port access elevated heights. Both two projects, they were request to, I mean, that was a requirement in the document to use BIM model. And there are some other specially funded project, the lending agency, they will refer to utilize BIM. Other than that, I think there will be a act to be passed it's on the discussion. I think it will be passed for the one-stop shop for the approvals act. That was on the process, and as recently I reviewed the documents with the CCI, but they specified in 2 years time the project. I can't remember exactly the area, but they specified the project which is more than that particular area should submit as a BIM model. That was in the local regulation. It will come because the president, one of the point in this president's manifesto, Vistas of Prosperity, the one-stop shop for the approval, that bill now already drafted. It's under process, and one of the point was there to one of the point is there to, in 2 years time, the project which is having some criteria should be submitted to approvals as a BIM model. So that will come. I hope that will not change. I did participate for the discussion with all the regulator authorities. Everyone was supported that point. So I don't think it will change. It will pass in the same manner. If it is passed in 2 years time, to get approvals, you need BIM model for that, some kind of a project, which might, they will specify the square feet area or some specific criteria for that project. Definitely you need to submit BIM project. With that, all the professional has to have a practice with the BIM. So with the quantity surveys, you don't have any excuses there.
Yes, so thank you for your sharing your insights with regard to that. So another student asked about, sir, we didn't get chance to practice TBQ. Can we get that license? So currently they haven't implemented this TBQ software in Sri Lanka, and after 1 or 2 months, they will provide the TBQ license for Sri Lanka, and the TME software also haven't provide their latest updated version yet. We have sent some drawings to the Glodden company. They are evaluating these drawings. Then after that, they will measure the applicability of TME software for local drawings. Then they will provide some trial license to train our quantity surveys for those softwares. So in the near future, we will obtain trial license for TBQ and TME as well. Then after that, we can provide you the training. Any other questions? Does need to have a special pause? Can use this website. So if you have any other question, please feel free to ask now. So Any more questions? Some student ask if there are any job opportunities to move forward with the cubic cost or BIM to build our career. So there are a lot of job opportunities here in Sri Lanka and as well as in overseas because Australia, New Zealand, UK and Middle East countries, they use this BIM technology regularly. So if you maintain your LinkedIn profile well, and if you publish your skill via LinkedIn profile, then you will have very good job opportunities, not only in Sri Lanka, but also in foreign countries as well, because uh, we have completed our cubic cost session now. So we have some very good students who has published their work in LinkedIn. They have already got some opportunities, especially in that port city project. Our one of our students we have been able to give a proposal to implement BIM in those projects. So that was a very good achievement. So he also has been doing 3 or 4 projects, and he completed 3 or 4 projects for his consultancy firm in this short period of time. And we have other students also who has done a lot of things by using this software. Some students are some drawings for me, and they have some students completed more than 10,000 square meter projects by using this cubic cost software. So there are a lot of opportunities available here in Sri Lanka and other countries. So you have to maintain your skill, you have to practice, then you have to market your skill via using platforms like LinkedIn. So then you will have a lot of opportunities as a 5D country survey. And another student asked, so from 5D BIM, how we can enter the global market and improve our career? So I think I have answered to that question, because the cubic cost Gordon, we have world's largest BIM community available. So you can engage with other professionals who use 5D BIM technology all over the world. And if you keep in touch with CCIS, we can arrange some meetings with the big professionals of big companies who use this 5D BIM technology. Then you can share, they can share their knowledge with you all, then you can improve yourself. So I think, yes, Majith also can add to that. So about the job. Yeah.
Yeah, with your skills, there may be requirements. I think nowadays, earlier we do have several organizations who will do the outsourcing for some other country. Especially, we didn't have the quantity service at that time who will capable to handle softwares, because we do have a quantity service, but with the trained quantity service to use software, we didn't have even at that time. So with the time, if the COVID situation and all, when it becomes okay, we might have the same opportunities from the other countries where we do need to provide services. So basically at that time, the quantity surveyors who's having the skills to use the software have a good opportunity to engage with those organizations. Due to COVID situation and all, we do have a very dull period. So that was the main reason. I think I don't know, those who remember, there are several organizations now, they were not working. Earlier we did have several organizations. They did have some organizations having about 20, 40 license in one software. So that was the usage at that time. So now with the COVID, the situation has changed, and some of the works were grabbed by some other countries like Malaysia, especially Malaysia and Philippines, especially. So they did go ahead than theirs. I think when we are struggle with the softwares, they go ahead with us and grab some opportunities. But if the things are becoming okay, when the things are becoming okay, that opportunity again will come to us. At that time, your skills, I think you do have a good opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your uh, great insights, sir. So, Upul sir, some of our students are asking about the opportunities in global market for 5D BIM quantity survey or BIM implementer. So, what is your insights?
Yeah, actually, I think I lost my connection, then came back. That is true because in the world it is now becoming more importantly going digitalized. So having this skill is one of the main skills you should have as a quantity surveyor. Without that, even when you are sending your CVs to anybody in overseas or anywhere, just attach the CV and mention that Cubicost 5D BIM software, you got the certificate from CCIS and the Global, so that will add value to your CV. And also this is the future, because all these years the drawings come to Sri Lanka and then we measure from the drawings and send back to the other countries. That will, what will happen is then definitely in future drawings will come to Sri Lanka or any other country, and then we will do the modeling and the BOQ will be sent to the other countries electronically. So the world is becoming very small. Sometimes even when, if you really wants to migrate, this software requirements will be added advantage, especially Canada, New Zealand, Australia. When you start thinking of migrating also, you can mention these things in your CVs, and your resumes, you should mention these things. In globalization, the global quantity surveying also, it will become new in future. It is not really will become exactly as quantity surveying, because when the IFC models comes, some of the quantity surveying functions will take over by this digitalization. Then it's not taking over, but there will be more added advantage for quantity surveyors to go into different fields with the when somebody have a idea of digitalization, when somebody has skills in digitalization, they can easily grab other things like the younger generation can do a lot of digital things than the older generation, because your future will be on this type of digital platforms. Not only the quantities, but the virtual reality site screening, site pipes and all those things through digital devices. Everything will be digital, and what will happen is you will digital some of the data, also other things like sketches, site visits, and everything will be digital. So when you have the skills, then you improve it every day and you will be there. So there you will be in par with the other countries. So that's why it is better to start now and continue your journey in digitalization without waiting. That's why we were also thinking of having some competitions, then some of the interactions with you. If we get some jobs, then we will share with you to do that, to earn some money. That everything we were thinking of doing is because we want you to continually improve yourself, because sometimes you learn things and then forget. But for digitalization, you can't do that. You learn thing and then you had to practice. The best example, somebody asks us, how can we get the license? So those things we also will be doing our work, trying to improve the opportunities in Sri Lankan market. And like Majid said, definitely when the port city comes, when the things are moving, there will be a lot of opportunities coming in. So I hope for the best, and I think everybody will get into this one and move forward every day, improve yourself. That's what we really need. Thank you.
And
Yes, sir.
with the Cubicos cloud and all, I think one of the best cloud platform what I have used is a Cubicos. There are some small issues, but right now also, but only one quantity survey is working in the head office to do mainly the documentation part. Rest of the guys are working their homes with the license. So we just need to share the license so they do can access for the cloud, and they don't need to share, or they can't say they missed something, their hard drive lost. They don't need to complain because everyone working or reviewing or getting data from the same model. So there we are not using duplicating model to one person to another. So everyone working in one model. So the supervisor will supervise the model. The quantity surveyor who will prepare the BOQ will access to the same model. One the quantity surveyor who will draft the model, who will do the same model. So everyone working in one platform. We just need to share the license. So with the laptop and the internet access, that's all they require. So with the cloud, the way we work also change, and the way the pattern and without being to an organization, even being the outsider, you can easily work for one or two organization. Being the outsider, that kind of advantage we can get it from the Cubicos.
Yes, thank you for your great insights, sir. So another question arises from our students. So can we calculate plumbing or electrical drawings using this software? So for the plumbing, especially for the MEP works, we have a separate software called TME. So after introducing this TME software to Sri Lankan market, then I will then we will organize some training sessions for you all. Then we will give you the knowledge. So for now, we don't have this TME software. In near future, we will organize some training sessions for this TME software as well. So any other questions? I think we
one thing I had to tell is the never think that after COVID we will go back to the old days, because definitely this will be more faster digitalized systems. So people will start working from home. Like Majid said, one person can do work for 3-4 companies from home, because there can be outsourcing lot. So this is the way to go. Even studies will have both modes, like digital online platforms and the housing. Even our institute functions will be dual mode. One will be few people come to the hotel, few people will be from online. So everything will be dual mode. So it is great way to work. So improve yourself.
Yeah, it is very good uh, insights. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask us. You can use our chat box, or you can directly you can turn on your microphone and you can ask us directly. And please don't take this language as a barrier. So if you have a question, you can ask in Sinhala as well. So please go ahead and ask some. If you have any other question, please ask now. We will give you another couple of minutes, then we can conclude today's session. So if you have any question, please ask now. Yes, I think yes. I think they don't have further questions. So so with this, this is the time to conclude our QB course 5D BIM course. So as a teacher, I would like to say thank you very much for you to participate our sessions. You have been working so hard in during last 2 months, because I know you guys not only work in this cubic course in these weekends, you guys did a lot of work during weekdays also to complete your assignments, and you did a really good job. And some students even asking me for some formats, and some students prepare model POQs, IPAs, subcontractor bills, and variations. So they have published their work in LinkedIn as well. So we are really impressed about the commitment of our students. It was really amazing. And actually, we surprised by seeing that, because we never thought you all will adapt to this technology. And we had some discussions initially whether Sri Lankan students will adapt to this technology easily. So what are the barriers they will face while adapting to this 5D BIM technology? But you guys did very good job, and most of the guys has published their work in LinkedIn as well. So thank you very much for that, guys. It was brilliant, amazing. So as a teachers, we always want to you to go beyond of us. We don't need to follow. You do not need to follow us. You have to go beyond us. You have to perform really well, more than us. So please work hard on that. So if I tell it in Sinhala, ගුරුවරයෙක් විදිහට අපිට ඕනේ ඔයාලා අපි පසුපසින් එන්න නෙමෙයි, අපිට වඩා හොඳට මේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේ perform කරලා අපිට වඩා ඉස්සරහට යන්න. ඒක තමයි ගුරුවරුන් විදිහට අපගේ මේ අභිප්‍රාය. ඒක නිසා ඔයාලා හොඳට වැඩ කරන්න. So that's it from me. So I think Upul sir has to add some.
Yeah, in my case, thank you guys very much. Thank you very much for participating and starting your journey on digitalization and 5D BIM software. Keep working, and as a company, we will be working with you in future. We will have your database, and we will write you if there is any articles about this one. We will have a very live like alumni kind of a thing, and if we get any jobs, we will publish in our group first. So we are thinking of having a very live community. We might start some kind of blog. Thilina has already done. So there will be a question and answer. If you have any questions about this one, then you can post it to there. There will be a lot of digital interaction between us. If the time permits, we can meet physically also. So as a company, we will be trying to reach to you at any time, anywhere. We will try to do that. And also we will share with you our company's cost structures and other things for the packages. And then if your companies can, then we can do our marketing also there. So I wish you all the best for the future. And I think it is an amazing journey starting. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Charles QS Upul Shantha, sir. I would like to give a special thank to Charles QS Upul Shantha, sir. He is the mastermind behind this implementation of 5D BIM technology in Sri Lanka. So in near future, a lot of quantity surveyors has a lot of jobs as a 5D BIM quantity surveyor, not only in Sri Lanka, but also in other countries as well. So we can lead as a quantity surveyors in future, because we are the first people to adopt to this BIM technology. So with comparing to other professionals, engineers and architects, quantity surveyors will be the first people to adopt this BIM technology in Sri Lanka. So we can lead the BIM technology in Sri Lanka as quantity surveys. I think Chartered QS Majith Ransilas also helped a lot to organize this 5D BIM course, and his input was amazing. In his International Construction Consortium, they have been using this software since 2019, and he has a lot of knowledge with regarding to this 5D BIM technology. And I invite to Mr. Chartered Quantity Surveyor Majith sir to share his insights about our 5D BIM course. So over to you, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I will thank Thilina and the CCIS team inviting to share some of my knowledge with related to the cubic cost and the practice with the cubic cost for your session. In addition to that, I think you have learned one piece of technology. That doesn't matter. The way you use that, the skills and knowledge you learn from here will matter. You might you might need use part of it in your day-to-day life. Sometimes you will use that knowledge to improve your skills, your organization. Likewise, the way you use the software or the knowledge you use with the sessions will matter for your future. So be creative. There are a lot of ways will open up when you try to use the technology you learn more creative manner, so you can if you with that you can perform well. If you are performing well, you can highlight in your organization, you can highlight among your QS community. So with that you will have a benefit and you will have a more opportunity. Just be creative and use that knowledge and skill. With that, I will wish you all the best for your future, and hope you get good knowledge with this session, and wish you all the best and good night.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. So with that, we would like to conclude our session. So before conclude our session, I would like to give a special thank to Chartered Quantity Surveyor Hasita Gunasekara sir as well, because Hasita sir also contributed a lot to this 5D BIM course, and he has formulated the structure, and he has facilitated all the technical equipments for this 5D BIM session, and he frequently instruct me to how to do the lectures, and he teach me to how to interact with people and how to deliver the lectures, because Chartered Quantity Surveyor Hasita Gunasekara sir has a lot of experience as a teacher. So unfortunately, due to some reasons, he has not been able to participate this particular session, and I would like to give my sincere gratitude to Chartered Quantity Surveyor Hasita Gunasekara sir as well. So again, I would like to thank Chartered Quantity Surveyor Upul Shantha sir and Chartered Quantity Surveyor Majith Ransilas sir to attend to this question and answering session. So please stay in touch in future, because there will be a lot of opportunities to you to work as a 5D BIM quantity surveyor in near future with the initiation of the sport city projects and other projects. So, so thank you very much again. if you can turn on your camera, then we can take a snapshot as a souvenir, because this is our last session. So could you please turn on your camera, then we can take a snapshot. I will send it to you via WhatsApp group to gallery view. Yes, it's really nice to see you all, because we have been worked really hard in last few months. So a lot of students has interactively worked with me and gained the fullest knowledge with regard to this 5D BIM technology. So thank you very much for you all. It's very nice to see you all. And there are a lot of experienced QSs and young undergraduates in this training program. So all guys did really amazing job to finish their courses. So they have completed their own 5D BIM model. Some of them asked me some drawings and did an amazing job. Then some has adopted these technologies for their quantity surveying works as well. So thank you very much again for your participation. So it's really nice to see you all, because yeah, with this COVID-19 situation, all the students stay at home. So please be careful, because new variants coming. So people dying everywhere. So please take care of yourselves and follow the health instructions and health guidelines. So please stay safe, because this COVID situation is very critical now in Sri Lanka. So again, it's nice to see you all. I have took some snapshots